have been absolutely cataclysmically disastrous for South Africa to have a radical EFF MKP government. And so it was a no-brainer that we had to make an alternative work. So yes, I am very pleased that the GNU happened. I think it is the best chance South Africa's had in a decade or more, probably 2 decades, to actually turn around the trajectory of our country from what I said earlier, just steadily declining per capita GDP, to where people are actually getting, better and better. And
Low-key, I actually agree with him that the coalition between the ANC, EFF and MK would be bad for his version of South Africa. It would ruin the kind of South Africa that he has grown up in. You must remember, this is a privileged white man who grew up under Helen Zille and became an MP at 24. He even says earlier in that same interview that people think everything is going okay in Cape Town, but it's really not. Who thinks that? Like, who is he speaking to and who does he grow up around? Like, who's his circle that he is being fed? Cape Town is like this very well-functioning, lovely city. And so when he says that ANC, MK, EFF coalition would be bad for South Africa, he means his version of South Africa and how he has experienced it. So remember, right now, about 55%, more than half of the country is living in poverty. About 40% of the country is unemployed. We are the most unequal country on the planet, but at the same time, we have the biggest GDP on the continent of Africa. And so even when he says something like we have to grow the GDP of the country, it doesn't mean you're going to benefit. We have the biggest GDP on the continent, but we're still the most unequal country on the planet. 40% of the country is unemployed. 55% of the country is living in poverty. Having higher GDP is not necessarily going to benefit you. This country is perfectly capable of making more money and keeping you out of the loop of people who are making that money. Very good at it, in fact. And so this very privileged white man's version of the world, when he says that MK, EFF and ANC coalition is bad for South Africa, bad for the economy, it is his version of it. It is his world. We have been excluded from the economy for a very, very long time.